So this next lesson is actually all about pressure and how much pressure to put and how much not to put. So I like to do this actually with a pencil because I feel like a pencil is really a wonderful tool to get you to understand when and where to put pressure and when to release it. So what's interesting about a pencil is if you're writing very lightly, it only puts so much graphite onto the paper. But then when you put more pressure on it, obviously, you get thicker lines and darker strokes. So the basic concept of hand lettering is to kind of create, at least brush lettering in the way that we're doing it, is to create lettering that has that gorgeous kind of thick and thin look to it. So whereas you would normally write in cursive, you could say right? You can write hello all in one weight, which is fine. But if you wanted to make it look a little bit fancier, you vary the weights. So anytime that you go up, you have a very light amount of pressure. And anytime you go down is when you put a lot of pressure. So this is a great way to practice. So for instance, I go up and then I come down. I go up and then down. Up and then down. Up and then down. Up and then down. Up and then down and down again. And what's also interesting about this is that it forces you to slow down. One thing that you don't want to do is to try to rush your hand lettering. It's really important to take your time and to really be precise about every stroke because that is how you create beautiful hand lettering. A huge mistake people make is sometimes rushing it and writing it as though they were writing in their normal handwriting, but that's not what you're doing. This is an art form. And so when you're writing, you want to make sure that you take your time to really write each letter. So now you can obviously see that there's thick and thin strokes happening here. So when we're doing the following lessons coming up, before you even break into your fancy pens, I would recommend doing all of these tutorials with a pencil first, just so you can get familiar with how much weight to put, how much weight to release, and then that way you really understand how it is to do this. And then once you've got that figured out, then you can jump into your brush pens. Sound good? Okay, let's get started.